So I've gotten a few requests to do a gear video. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to go through actually a few of my twinks and my level 80 that I like to do, PvP on. So anyway, we'll start off by just kind of going through. I'll do my 29s, then I'll do my 19s, and then I'll show the level 80 Druid that I play around on. So first up is really an Infiltrator cap. It's not best in slot. Best in slot would be a 9/9 hat. Next up is a satchel reward, the tumultuous necklace 7/7, which is pretty much best in slot at this level. Then we got basically the Shadowcraft shoulders. These are BOAs introduced in Wrath of the Lich King, which is the patch I'm on. So these are best in slot, as well as parachute cloak for the back. Definitely, this is like the perfect twink item. You can put the Burning Crusade enchant on it. Then we got another Shadowcraft gear from Heirloom. With the hit rating on those and the shoulders, you've got to have them as a rogue. I got Barbaric Bracers, which arguably are best in slot at this level, but I switch them out a lot because I need extra hit when I'm fighting up, with the higher levels. Then we got Heirloom Knives, got the Balanced Heart Seeker. I do have Torturing Pokers. I'm just not playing with them because the stats is what I need, when I'm fighting the higher level guys. And then, of course, the Scarlet Chris and the Charmed Bow. Now, that bow is probably not best in slot. You can get the daggers. Rune of Perfection, Hand of Justice. Obviously, I'm still trying to farm the AGM. I got both protector bands. I could switch one of those out with like a Thunderbro ring or the Seal of Rin. Then Highlander boots. Then as far as pants go, once we get up there, we got the Gone Quest ones, right? The Trip Runner dungarees. And even though in Burning Crusade, the Petrol Spill were way better, this one's best in slot because you can't put those nice leg hits on. Then Deviant Scale belt. I have the optional Highlander belt from Arathi, but this one gives me the extra hit, and so I'm using it. And then, of course, we got the gloves. I've got basically satchel rewards. I got the 7/7 attack power. I think it's the Bandit and the Wild. So let's talk a little bit about off pieces. Obviously, I've got heirloom swords as well. I like to switch out the daggers for the faster speed for a poison application. But definitely when you're fighting other 29s or lower, it's better. You do more damage with swords unless you can get a sweet opener with daggers. It's just, I'm spec for daggers anyway. But yeah, there's just a few off pieces that I like running around with that basically give me the higher hit. I get close to 10%, and I need it when I'm going up against level 40s because you gotta hit on them, especially with white damage. So you'll notice in some of my videos when I'm fighting the higher levels, you'll see a lot of misses going down, like the yellow damage, and that's mostly the poisons. They use spell hit instead of like melee hit, so they miss a lot. But if you look, you'll see my white damage is actually pretty high, especially the closer you get down to 29. I can land a lot of offhand blows, but it's a sacrifice. I gotta lose about 200 hit points in order to get the hit rating up to like 10%. But it does pay off when you're laying down the white damage on these guys. They melt away pretty quick. So switching over to my 29 Shaman, I have not played her at all yet on this channel. She's my favorite by far. The problem with playing at 29 and doing what I like to do, going after higher levels, is a lot of her abilities are spell hit based, and everything resists. Basically, you can just do a bunch of white damage to like a level 40, and they're just the longer the fight drags out, the more damage they're just going to be able to lay down, and it's really not survivable. But she could go up against like 3 or 4 level 29s, 28s, 30s, and pretty much just wipe the floor with them. So she's a lot of fun to go take out to South Shore and just really go after same level, like multiple people, you know, outside of Terra Mill. In fact, I'll just sit out there behind the barn and just, you know, pretty much throw grenades and try and lure them out. You know, it's a lot of fun to do. But yeah, she's basically got best in slot and just about everything. She does not have AGM. That's about the only thing missing. So I'm gonna run over, you know, some of the other players that I have real quick. I'm not going to really stop and drill into the gear unless you guys really want me to. And if you do, drop a comment and I'll do a video where I single out each one individually. So just in case you're curious, I did get Hotshot Pilot Gloves. I did find them in the auction house, which were best in slot back in Burning Crusade before the heirloom. And then I got the old, you know, Crescent Forlorn Spirits with the 40 spell power on it. That just kind of like makes you reminisce back to the Burning Crusade. And to just add a few things too, I mean, Burning Crusade is where I really got into twinking. And my main twink, she was named Crystallized and looked just like this one here. And so this was really kind of like taking a trip down memory lane. I used to love running the flag and 29, but I was enhancement like with, you know, the Corpse Maker and stuff, and just loved to brawl. I had like close to 3,000 hit points, and it just was a fun time in Warcraft for me. And, you know, she is enhancement spec, but geared more towards spell power and survivability, and she just wear out opponents. I've beaten pretty much everyone except for like a hunter that just, it was a real close draw. But yeah, if I had more line of sight, it would have been game over. All right, let's get into the 19s. So first up, I have my Druid. I love playing this character. It is so much fun because you're so mobile as a healer and great support. So I'm just going to tab through all the different slots and, you know, all the different gear pieces to just kind of show what I have. This Druid has pretty much everything best in slot, right? And then I have offsets too. So the cool thing about this player is I can use it for flag carrying. I loved it. Honestly, on this computer, I really don't enjoy it, and as much as like I would in like a classic WoW or Burning Crusade. Plus, these private servers are all over in like East Europe, and I'm in Texas, you know, so the lag's pretty bad. So I'll get people being able to, you know, just keep hamstring up. They'll have the hamstring, you know, macros that take them out of combat, and so they just keep spinning, and sometimes it's just real hard to get away because I just have really bad latency. But, you know, kind of show off kind of the different gear sets I have. I've got healing sets, flag carrying sets. I have a spell power set with 136 spell power, and so my dots will tick for 80-50. That's a sweet 130 damage like every tick. So I could just dump that on most people and just run off and grab the, you know, save the next guy. And then, you know, even in my balance set, I'll switch back and forth here. Even in the more balanced sets that I run around in, you still get a decent amount of heal over times. You know, as long as the Horde aren't running around with pretty decent priests that are dispelling all these hots, you know, you do pretty good and keep the team up. The only thing that sucks at this level really is the mana pool is so low. You drop a handful of heals and then you gotta go run to the relief hut and get your mana back. And of course, you know, the drinks suck. You can't ever get your mana all the way back. You gotta drink like two different things. All right, next up, I have my 19 Priest Field Triage. Now, back in Burning Crusade, I had another shaman. I had a resto shaman named Field Medic, and that name was taken. So Field Triage it is. This guy's got pretty much best in slot and everything, and offsets. I went up and farmed the Timber Mob rep and got the little, it's like a freaking nut sack, you know, that you run around with and hold. Looks like you castrated a Tauren. And so I can, you know, run around with that and a one-hander. But yeah, this, you know, you can't get as much spell power as the, you know, the Druid, but as a support character, being able to just dispel, throw up bubbles, keep those renews up, fearing people, just it's such a clutch, you know, twink to have in a battleground, especially against pre-mages. You can just dispel all the hots off the flag carries and stuff. So I've got a lot of off pieces, you know, to have larger mana pools, to have like basically a mana gear set and stuff, you know, instead of just full out healing. And then if you look over here, I found a Pendulum of Doom in the auction house for like 50 gold, so I snatched that up. So I will be making a level 39 twink, probably a warrior, maybe a shaman to go and just win fury lull people down in one shot. We'll see. Next we got Rick. He's my warrior. If I end up making that Pendulum of Doom, the pod warrior, man, I'll be leveling him up to 39. He's got all the best in slot, you know, heirlooms and stuff. So pod is still really the best two-hander for 39 bracket, even though there's the Arcanite Reaper. But yeah, definitely let's go to the next one. So I've got a horde. Yeah, I gotta say, you know, it's sometimes things are lopsided, so a lot of us on the server rolled horde 19s to be able to balance out the battlegrounds a little bit more. But basically I got the same gear set that I have on Rick, and I just, because these heirlooms can get transferred through the mail, you know, I swap them back and forth. I do have the mail shoulders. I just don't think I equip them in this video. But yeah, for me, Shadowcraft on Warriors at 19 are probably best in slot because they really give you the hit rating that you need. You're not missing any of your, you know, your specials, and that really counts. You miss a Druid at the wrong time and he's gone. So with that being said, we are all done with these 19s. Let's take a look at my 80. So this is my 80 Druid healer. I love playing this character. I've got basically all relentless, you know, main pieces. Off pieces are pretty much all wrathful, and then, you know, heroic, best in slot. If you've ever played on Warmane, if you go to the Blackrock server, you get an instant 80, and you basically get all wrathful, and they set you up with the regular standard set, and then you gem it out and you enchant it out how you feel, you know, you want to play that character. So it's, instead of having to grind it all the way up, it is a lot of fun. You can just go in there, get an instant 80. You don't have to spend a month leveling it up, and then you've got at least gear to be decent, you know, at least survive in the battlegrounds. And then when you queue up for the battlegrounds, you're actually fighting against two different servers where people have leveled up. There's Iceground that has like a ×7 server where people can level up really quick. They can buy their gear, they just donate to the, you know, server, and you know, you can basically gear out your tune that way. And then Lordaeron, which is just a regular ×1 XP realm, and they're having a little hard time because it's a lot harder when you actually got to grind it out the old school way. It's a lot harder to come by, so you got to go in there and do winter grasps and really get the honor the old-fashioned way. But you know what? I've got this guy ready in case I wanted to do 2s and 3s seriously. I just love doing battlegrounds with this dude and just going around. I'll follow around a Shadowmourne warrior that's just like, you know, 6k gear score, and just keep him up and let him just plow the field. Or hopefully, you know, maybe 2 of them get together. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just I've got plenty of experience to just kind of kite and go around and just keep these guys alive, and it's just fun to do. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Drop a comment if you want me to expand on any of these, if you want to see me do any of the other twinks instead of just running around on my 29 rogue and wrecking, you know, players. If you want me, I can take the, you know, shaman out and go and fight 3-4 people at the same time outside Terra Mill. If that interests you, if you guys want to see me do level 80 PvP, or heck, man, if you guys want me to go and start up and do some classic, well, let me know in the comments below.